Okay, good evening once again. Um,
Good evening, sir.
my name is Gilbert, and today we want to start the basics of HTML. Um, Yesterday, Mr. James told me that he has started already with you, so I thought you were as far. So that's why I was in a hurry yesterday. But later told me that you've not gotten up to where I was yesterday, so we should begin afresh. So I'd like to start with the HTML, basis of HTML. Okay, let me open my Sublime test. Okay, sorry. So we'll be talking about the HTML today. And as we already know that HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. The HTML is used to describe the structure of a page. So we have piece of information that we want to display on a browser. We use the HTML to tell the browser, maybe this is a heading. So display it at the far right or the far left, top, bottom of the web page. We use the HTML, and it consists of series of elements and tags. So when you talk of HTML tag, it begins with the less than sign, then the name of the tag, then you use the greater than to close the first tag, then less than with the forward slash, then the tag name again. So this is the HTML tag. So let's take this to be the content inside the HTML tag. So we refer to this one as the selector or the opening tag. So we have the selector or the opening tag. And the last one, which is the one with the forward slash as the closing tag. So we use the selector to select the content over here. So whenever we want to select this content, we use this selector. You call this selector, then you have access to the content over here. So imagine we want to call this, we have a tag called maybe header one, or let's say a paragraph, and we have maybe this is a paragraph. If you want to style this information, you use the selector or the opening tag to style this information. Okay, so let's begin with the basic syntax, or let's start with where we can write HTML codes. Uh, we can write HTML in any text editor. We have different forms of text editor. We have the notepad. We have the notepad, the brackets. Um, we have the Sublime text, which I am using. We have Dreamweaver, and we have all sort of text editors. We have the online one too. So let's begin with the syntax or the structure of a basic HTML page. So I'll create a new file, then I'll save it. Okay, I have, let me create a folder. Let me, let me first create a folder. Let me name it tutorials. Okay, okay, I already have one. So tutorials um, 2. Okay, so inside this, then I'll have, then I'll create my first HTML. So let's take this to be index dot. So whenever saving an HTML file, we use the extension dot html or dot htm. Please hope you've understood what I'm saying.
Yes.
So make sure that you've either select all files or you've gone through to select the HTML file extension. So I will use the all then .html. So I now have my HTML page. For those using brackets, we can create our basic syntax with ease as compared to other ones. So after saving it, when I type HTML, I already have a pop-up. So when I hit enter, I have the structure, the basic structure of
Please
HTML.
go over. Please go over this again.
Okay, let me clean it. I said for those using Sublime Text, it's not applicable to every text editor, but for those using Sublime Text, with the less than, then H, as immediately type H, we have the HTML, which pop-ups. So you hit on enter, then we have our basic structure.
Okay.
Hope you've understood.
Yes, we
Okay,
understood.
so let's try to get the meaning for each of the. So as we see, let me indent them well so that we have this. Then we have the body. Okay, so we have the doc type. So the doc type uh, defines this document to be HTML5. So the previous version of HTML does not include this. This exclamation Doctype HTML tells the browser that we are using the current HTML, which is HTML5. Please hope you've understood.
Yes, we understood.
Yes.
Okay. And this HTML is the root of HTML page, is the root element of HTML page. And we have the header, the head tag. So this doc type does not have a closing tag. It's only the opening tag. So with this HTML, we have the opening tag and we have the closing tag here, which is at the bottom part, the latter part. So with that, we have the head. So with the head, all sensitive information and metadata, and when we talk of metadata, it's information describing our web page falls within the head. So as we see, we have the title, which is displayed on a browser. So um, let me quickly write something, then we'll run it and see how it looks like. So with the title, let me type something like um, tutorials. Then I'll save it. Then let me right click and open in the browser. Okay, so let me quickly bring it here. So this, okay, let me close some so that we can have, okay. So this is our web page and we have the title here to be tutorials. Please hope we can see it clear.
Yes, I can see.
Please, is it that you went to the folder that you created before typing, before double clicking to open, or
No, um, you right click, then we have the open in browser. So it will open with your default browser.
okay, okay.
So this is our page. It's an empty page because we have nothing. So we have this title, tutorials here. So this is the title. So let's move back to our code. So the head also contains links to CSS. That's the external CSS. And we can also style our work in the head. When we want to give it an internal CSS, we do it in the head. So since we don't have any CSS to do, let's quickly move to the body. So the body is the visible part that is shown in the browser. So this whole white space that we have here is the body. So anything that we type in the body will be displayed at this place. So assuming I type anything here, and save it, move to my browser, refresh. So we have it here. But with this, I can't style this one because it is not in the tag. So I can't select it. But that's one important of a tag. So um, today we will talk about only two tags. So we have the heading. We will talk about the heading, and we will talk about um, paragraphs. And we'll be done for today. So let's begin with headings. Whenever we want to give a heading in HTML, we use the tag H, and we have different forms of header. We have header 1 up to header 6. So we have header 1. Here is it. We use this tag to create a header. We have the header 1, which is the biggest among. So we have the header 1. So let me give it maybe header 1. So let's try to take a
So
look of,
the, hello, please. The header
okay,
one is there. Let's say Ignite ICT teachers, or yes, like you want to target Notre, and beneath it we have let's say
a subtitle.
ICT.
Okay, yeah.
So Notre will be the header one.
So let's try to look at the various, how it looks, and you choose what will fit you
Okay.
depending on what you are doing. So we have the header 1 being the largest, and followed by the header 2. So I'll have my header 2 here. So I'll close it with a, and I'll create a header 3. It runs through up to header 6, which is the least among. Then header 4, header 5, then the last one, header 6. So I'll save it, then run it in my browser. So Control S, then I'll open my browser, then refresh it. So let me zoom in so we can see this is our header 1, followed by the header 2, the header 3, header 4, up to the last one, header 6. Please, are we clear?
Yes, please.
So depending on what you want, imagine we have this and you want to write, you want what you were saying. So we can take this one to be um, something like this. Um, okay, this to be our header 1. Then we can have a subheading like maybe um, online. So let me clean the rest and let me save it. Refresh my browser. So I can have something like this. So there is it. We can choose to center our work with the help of the center tag.
Okay.
So I can either choose to do it inside. We can have tag within tag. So I can choose to have um, the first tag. Let's take H1 for example, and within this H1, I'll have another tag, maybe the center tag. Then finally, I'll close my header 1 here. So we can have tag within tags. So I'll be doing similar thing here. So I want to center this and that. So I'll put them in the center tag. So center opening tag here. Then then I'll come and have the closing center here. I'll save it, move to my browser, refresh. I have my work being at the center of my screen. This hope is useful.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's move to our second part.
Um, Hello, sir.
Um,
Hello, sir.
I'm listening.
Does that mean whenever you open a sentence or whenever you type, you need to close it, or is
Yeah,
it not appear,
it
or
will
is it
appear.
because
It will appear, but it will not have the effect that maybe you want. And bear in mind, to HTML2 does not show error. So whatever that you code, so assuming I wrote this code and I forgot to bring this center, let me save it, refresh my browser. We have it here all right, but maybe depending on the type of this thing that you are doing, it will have effect. It will have a future effect on your web page.
okay,
Um,
I understand.
so let me close it back and let's move to the second part, which is the paragraphing. So in web, whenever we want to create a paragraph, we use the p tag to tell the browser that this is a paragraph. So I'll use the P tag. Then this is the closing P. So within this, maybe I'll type this is a paragraph. I'll save it. Then, so this is my paragraph. So assuming I want more information within this paragraph, um, for those using the Sublime text, it contains some. So I'll move to my two snippets. So we have some snippets here. There, lorem ipsum. So I just click on it, then it gives me some dummy text. So I'll save it. Then, okay. So I've created a paragraph using the paragraph tag, the P tag. Please, should we continue on, or is
Yes,
this
no,
one
let's
okay?
continue.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've talked about 3 tags right now. We've talked about the the heading, center, then the paragraph tag. So let's move to some basics formatting tags. Okay, we have the bold. We have the bold tag. So with the bold tag, we use B to represent a bold tag. So it have um, the closing and then the opening tag for bold. So if we want to bold this one, so we can use the let's bold so that we can have a few. So let me refresh. Okay, so oh, I entered bold, but it's giving me light. I think my translator is in work right now. So let me increase it. So this was what I bold. So imagine I want to bold a section of my paragraph. I can use the bold tag to bold maybe only this section. So let's try it. I'll quickly move to my editor. So I can use my opening B tag here. Then maybe I'll close it at this place, save it, and refresh. So I have a part of information being bold. Please hope if you understand.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so let's move to um, whenever we want to italize a word. So the italic. So in web, whenever we want an italic, we use the I. So then I'll close it. So save it, refresh my browser. So I have this part of my document being italicized. So let me increase it so that you can see it all. Okay, so I have a little thing that I want to say. We've seen that this was a header tag, and immediately that we created another header tag, it moved to the next line. And we
Yes.
created a paragraph, and it also moved to the different line, which making our bold being at the next line. But let's look at something. This is where my bold tag was, and this is where the italic two was. But it falls within the same line. This is simply because um, header, headings, and paragraphs are block elements. When you say they are block elements, it means it follows in the vertical order. When one tag comes, let's say when the first header tag comes, and we create another block element tag, it will move to the next line. It won't continue from where the first one stopped. Please hope you understand.
So is it that hello sir? Is it that you begin with the how do you call it the paragraph? That's why it begin with the different line, or you press enter on the supplanter text,
No.
supplanter, then
Um,
it will just give you another paragraph.
in web, in web, space doesn't count. So assuming that let me create a lot of space here, and I'll save my work, move to my browser again, and refresh. So we're having the same thing that we're having initial. Enters are not work on HTML page. We use break and then paragraphs to create space. Then we can use CSS to style to give space. So as I was saying, the heading and then paragraph are block elements. And then the bold and italic is inline element. That's why it falls in the same
Uh,
line.
Uh,
okay. Okay.
So when we create a break, so let me close the gap here back. So let's look at something. So assuming I create a break, so I want to show the difference between breaks and paragraph. Assuming I create a break at this place. With break, it comes with only one tag, either by the selector or the closing tag. Sorry, it's used the autocomplete. So it's either by the selector or by the closing tag. So either you do it this way or you do it this way. So I'll save it, then move to
So
my,
you will not close the break.
no, that's why I said it's only one selector. It's either by the opening tag or by using the closing tag. Please hope you understand.
All
yes,
right.
sir.
It's left with 10 minutes, so so I'll save it, move to my browser, then refresh. So you've seen that we have a break at this place. We have a break at this place, which moves to the next line.
Okay.
So a break gives us just one step down. And let's try to look at paragraph. So um, where I gave the break, let me change it. Then let me close this first paragraph here. So with a P, then I want to start an open paragraph for this one here. So I'll create another paragraph P here, and I'll save it, move to my browser, refresh. So we see that we have a wide space over here.
Okay.
We have a wide space over here. So now let's move back to where when we had a break. Okay, so we have one break. Let me quickly add another break here. So I'll save it, then refresh. So we see that we have the same space over here. So meaning that two breaks gives us one paragraph. Please, do you understand? Two breaks gives us one paragraph. So when we use paragraph, the paragraph gives us two breaks at the top, then two breaks at the bottom. Please hope if you understand.
Yes.
Paragraphs gives us two breaks at the top and two breaks at the bottom. So let's move to different tag. So we have a different tag called the delete. Delete. Okay, let's try to look at different tag, then we will come back to the delete. We want to look at something like strong. We have the strong tag to give to give emphasis to like to give importance rather to a particular text. So this is strong. I'll save it, then refresh. So as we see, let me increase the size. We have the bold here, then we have the strong, which looks similar. I don't know if you take a look at it. Hello.
Yeah.
So we have the strong, the bold and the strong. The bold depends the text, and the strong gives importance to the work or the particular text that you've given it to it. So let's quickly move back to the delete. So I would like to create, using the P tag to create a space beneath our page. Okay, so the delete, and so let's say this is a deleted text.
Please just look at the paragraph that you created. The PP is more than it's
Yeah,
4. What does it?
this is the opening paragraph, then closing
Okay.
paragraph. So this one paragraph. I just want to create space beneath my browser so that it can be at the upper part of my browser so that it will not be beneath. So this is the delete. So I'll say quickly save it, then move to my browser. So this is the deleted text that I created. So we have a strike through to show this is a deleted text. So this is purposely for information that you want it to be visible, but you don't want maybe quick, for example, solving mathematical equations. Maybe you want to show that this part we've deleted it or we've cancelled through, so you should disregard it or discard it. You can use the delete and you can use the strike too. So um, let's quickly, with the help of paragraph, I would like to create let's use a new word. So we have the insert. So the insert, we use the ins, then with the closing tag. So this is an inserted.
Sir, please.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Please, my own. Hello, sir. My own the deletion. I can't see it because I've done it by. It's just there. There's no strike in it.
Um, the DEL with the closing, please check your tag. And also, which browser are you using?
Touch.
What browser?
Touch.
Okay, as for that one, I don't know. But sometimes, but for this basic tags, you should support. Most of the time, that Internet Explorer and the old age Microsoft Edge used to have a little bit of problem with some of the tags, especially the new ones that came with the HTML5. So this is the inserted tag. So we have the underline. So let's move to the last one, then we will close for the day. I have another tag. Let me try. Um, okay, we have a tag, something like this. I'll save it, move to my browser. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it from my browser. I have a piece of text which is just moving from the right direction to the left. I don't know if you can see. Please hope you can see. Hello. So please hope you can see.
Please go over. Your line was breaking, so we couldn't hear.
Okay. So I had a tag with this. Then I have a piece of information inside. So I think our time is up. And thank you for joining me today. Hope we meet tomorrow and continue from where we left. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, we can see.
And this is the outcome. This is the running test. Moving from the right to the left. So I'll post the video at YouTube. Then I'll tell